I do not get stressed very easily when it comes to managing my business. I am more of a person who believes in karam karo or phal ki apeksha mat rakho. Hi everyone, this is Ishita from Browniefied. I live in Chandigarh and Browniefied is a boutique bakery cum studio situated in Panchkula, but we deliver all across Tri-City, which is Chandigarh, Panchkula, Mohali and the neighbouring areas. About Browniefied, so this was not something that I had planned on doing ever in my life. It was something which I hadn't planned on doing ever in my life. But as a person and as a child, I used to love to eat, I love to cook, and I love to cook for other people and make them eat. So my brother was suggesting me for quite some time that I should try my hand at baking and see how it turns out to be. And the pandemic, the virus gave us this opportunity to sit in our homes, venture out into something new, and thus I started baking. Somehow it turned out to be good. I don't know how, but it was better than how I expected it to be. And I started considering that maybe I can turn it into something professional. And we tried a few recipes, I made other people taste it, and I started getting really nice reviews. So we just, in the spur of the moment, we just made an Instagram account that we'll start a bakery. And some people followed it, and out of nowhere one day this girl texts me up and says, could you please make me 10 brownies? So I didn't even have this oven with me that day, so I asked her for a few days, and then I got my own oven. I was baking with the makeshift arrangements that we do in our Indian households, on the gas, in the microwave, in the kadhai. So I got my first oven, and I baked brownies for her, which she really liked. And I started venturing out into more. We devised a menu, we tried and tasted some recipes, and we put it on the menu. And better than how we expected it to turn out, people started giving us orders. And I started exploring more that how other home bakeries are managing or operating in Chandigarh or the city. Initially, resourcing was one of the chief issues. We can resource the basic ingredients which go into making a cake or any of the bakery stuff as such. However, packing it, making it available and presentable to a client, that is the hard part. And then the third thing which was very challenging was delivering it. So when I started my bakery, there were curfews, there were lockdowns, and there were no delivery guys which were delivering. So we started doing the deliveries ourselves. I used everything in life comes with its own set of challenges. So I too faced a set of challenges, but gradually and with the right effort and research, we did overcome it. My first challenge was resourcing for a bakery. Now to make a cake at your home for your family, that's alright. You can resource locally and very easily, and there's no pressure of making it extremely presentable. So, but however, for resourcing for a client, the prime matter is that it needs to be extremely presentable, because the client is first looking at the product and later on tasting it. So resourcing for a bakery in Chandigarh was extremely tough, primarily because there are not many options available where I can resource. There is just one place available, which is 20 kilometers from my house. So we cannot also resource in bulk like big brands and companies. So we cannot invest that much, and we have a smaller place, we have less people working on it, which is basically me and my mother. So we had to resource in a limited quantity, which was more expensive for us, and there was just one place where we had to go time and again, and sometimes for one special order we had to travel 20 kilometers and 20 kilometers back. So that was a very difficult task to do initially, and with time I did find suppliers and local places or the nearby places where I could procure the same materials, and I had to ask some people locally and near my place to get a few things on order. So that was one thing which took time for us to adapt to. Next up was about deliveries. So we started the bakery in June. The lockdown had started to lift a little, but there was still curfew in some places and there were lockdown in others. So in Chandigarh, the thing is that Panchkula comes in one state, Mohali is in another state, and Chandigarh is a union territory. So all these places had their own set of rules, and it was initially difficult. We did not have riders. We could not tie up with any company, which could deliver our products to different places. So sometimes I even used to deliver 25 kilometers away, and I used to take my scooter to do that. So that was really, really difficult. With time, when the lockdown lifted, obviously things got a little easier, but we still try to do some of the deliveries ourselves because the cakes are so delicate, and sometimes the delivery guys, they just speed it up and they ruin your product, and the client is paying so much for it, and we are spending. Obviously things got easier when the lockdown started to lift up, and we tried to deliver through the riders and the few companies, but we all know how delivery guys ride their bikes, speeding it up. So they ruined some of our cakes a few times, and then that was an option that we could not resort to for cakes or for the frosted items. I still do the deliveries myself for those cakes, or the clients pick them up if they are living in the vicinity, or if they are not sending it as a gift. Because cakes are so delicate, and the frosting can ruin in no time. And we spend from 8 hours to a whole day to making one cake, and the client is also paying a lot. So that actually breaks your heart if the cake is ruined before the delivery or before it's actually cut. So that was one major challenge, and sometimes it still comes up, and the times we are unable to do the delivery or the client is unable to pick up, we have to cancel the order. So this persists, but we are still managing it somehow. One of the other major challenges which I faced was that my resourcing was really high, and because of the quality of ingredients that we use. Now we are growing up in India, cakes are available at every other local bakery. So the next challenge which I faced was that as a boutique bakery working from home, my resourcing was higher than the resourcing of either big brands or the local bakeries. Now there is this fact which most people aren't aware about, is that these local bakeries, small shops where cakes are available, and from them to the bigger brands as well, they're not making their products themselves or under their watch or anything. These cakes are made inside big industries in the industrial areas or factories or huge workshops, which are extremely unhygienic, to be honest. You can anytime go and check it out. So their resourcing is also very cheap. So the quality of ingredients which they are using, it can never match to what I am using, because I try my best to resource the best of ingredients. So if anyone is traveling from abroad, I do ask them up to get me a particular ingredient which is not available here, like blueberries. So yes, we make the best of our efforts to get the best ingredients for our clients. So one major difference is that a normal vanilla which the local bakeries use, it is for 200 rupees for half a liter. The vanilla which I use is for 900 rupees for 100 ml. So that's one small example of how expensive our resourcing turns out to be sometimes. Obviously, our products are priced a little higher than those bakeries, and we are also making everything on order. We don't have anything prepared for anyone to take away anytime. All orders are done on customization basis. All of these things take up the cost, and of course we are making a lot of effort. One single cake takes 8 hours to a day to bake and to completely be prepared. So all of these things are taken into consideration. Now people who are accustomed to buy a half kg cake for 350 rupees, when we tell them that our cakes are between 1000 to 1500 for the same quantity, they actually are hesitant. They feel that we are extremely or exorbitantly expensive. However, if a person considers the effort it takes to bake the cakes we do and the quality of ingredients which goes into it, it's actually not. So yes, getting the clientele and to try for once at least that what the difference is, because unless you try you would never know what the difference is and why you are paying us more than you are paying at a local shop. That is a big challenge, and understanding the mindset of your client, understanding what they want, and I try to give as much discounts as possible for me as a local business. Sometimes the people do not order, but a lot of times people who understand and take up a risk. I have had that clientele since day one, and I have clients who have repeatedly been ordering from me ever since they tried after their first order. And I think that's a big achievement from getting a person who pays $350 for a cake to pay $1,200 for the same cake. So yes, this is one big challenge. It happens every time because most of my clients find it expensive initially, but yes, when they understand what we're giving them and what the difference is, they always choose us. The best thing about my business is that I can make something with my own hands and I can feed it to other people, and food is like happiness to me. So giving food to people is like spreading happiness, and that I would say is the best thing about my business, to make people happy with what I am baking and putting my best in it, doing something which I love doing, and that would be the best thing about my business. So Browniefied is all about gourmet desserts, from cakes to brownies, any sorts of baked desserts, even the non-baked desserts, which come into English dessert, in the category of English desserts. That's what we do at Browniefied. The best things on our menu are cakes, our brownies are to die for. We make handcrafted chocolates, cookies, and we have others other products like cake jars. And we have a lot of gifting options. So on festivals, we make sure to make a special hamper. I get those hampers made myself. We have pine wood baskets, and I employ a carpenter to make those hampers myself. One thing that I'm really particular about is no use of plastic in my packaging. So I'm really into sustainable packaging and sustainable gifting. As using Browniefied as means, I'm trying to spread that message as well. So we do cakes for weddings, we do dessert tables for birthday parties, and we take bulk orders for corporates. So that is all about Browniefied, and this is one aspect of it. The other aspect of Browniefied is the baking classes which we offer. We offer as a beginner's course and a professional course. However, we also customize the courses depending upon what a person wants to learn in the chapter of baking and the gourmet desserts. To all the fellow entrepreneurs, I would like to say that go out there and follow your passions. There is nothing in this life which does not involve risks. I started Browniefied with my own little savings that I had, and then whatever I earned, I put it again as an investment, and slowly I started building up more, and we got bigger and better. You would never know what you are capable of unless you try. So all I'd say is that if your heart is set on something, or there is even a slightest possibility that you can make it into a field that you love, I say go out there, take the risk and do it. One thing that I would really like to ask of all of you people is that do give a chance to home bakers. I've seen home bakers coming up, even smallest of towns, and it is really important for you to try something to know what's the difference. So unless you try home bakeries, and you would never know what's the difference in quality, in the service, and in the love that we actually put into whatever we are serving you. Another thing, and one of the most important things, is that I am seeing a lot of small businesses coming up these days on Instagram or otherwise. I really want you to know that it makes a lot of difference to us as a small business owner, as someone who's running a very small local business, for people to order from me and not from a big brand, and it makes us really happy, and it encourages us to do even better. Please give a chance to the small businesses, to the local business owners in your own cities, wherever you are. If you're ever coming to Chandigarh, please try Browniefied. But wherever you are right now, please give a chance to the small business owners. Please do not bargain excessively from them, because they are incurring high costs and resourcing, and they are putting so much more effort, love and passion into whatever they are doing for you. That would be my appeal to you all. If you're ever coming to Chandigarh, please do try Browniefied. You can find us on Instagram by the name of Browniefied, and you can also reach us through our Google business account. Just put Browniefied Chandigarh and you'll reach to our page where you can find our contact numbers and ways how you can order from us. I also conduct online and offline workshops, which is all notified on my Instagram page. So it's best if you are on Instagram, please connect with us on Instagram. If you're watching this video, please like, share and subscribe to encourage me and to encourage other entrepreneurs. Most of all, I'd like to thank Soil Cup for this collaboration, for giving a chance to small business owners, to entrepreneurs, to come speak up and present what they are doing to the community outside so that you guys can see it. If you guys are planning to start your own business or a venture or something new, I hope this gives you the courage and confidence to take that first step and make it. I wish you all the good luck and best wishes from Browniefied. There was so much uncertainty when I started Browniefied that everything which came up next was a milestone in itself. I cannot just point out one thing which constituted a milestone for me. However, small things, every small step that we took, every order that we received, from as we graduated from making a single tier cake to a 2-tier cake, and then doing orders for festivals, doing bulk orders for people, doing orders for people for parties. I think everything was a milestone in itself. And I started baking without an oven. Now I'm in the process of making my own studio. I think that's really big. I hope we get better with time in baking, we get better in the services we are providing, and we actually make a difference in how baking is considered here, because baking is not native to our culture. What's native to our culture is the sweets, the Indian sweets, but not baking. And I really want people to get the nice taste of it and not just very average cakes or bakery products. I want them to taste the English desserts or how baking actually is done. And I think that's when I'd consider that yes, Browniefied has been a success in teaching people, in increasing the love of bakery products for people. That would be the real Browniefied. So I cannot say that one particular thing constitutes a milestone for me. Every small step that we took, with every order, every cake that we baked, graduating from making 1-tier cakes to a 2-tier cake, and then doing orders for weddings, bulk orders, doing dessert tables for people, everything was a milestone in itself. One thing that I always knew was that I will get into an artistic field. Professionally, I also completed my law this year, but it wasn't something that I was planning on taking up as a profession. I took up law because I run an NGO, SWAG, Strong Women and Girls, and I wanted to know more about the legal aspects of the system of our country so as to help other people overcome those challenges, and using law as a medium to enforce their rights and to sustain their rights and well-being. However, baking is something which happened all of a sudden or very spontaneously to me, but I see it as a form of art, that my art took a medium and combined with food. I think this is the perfect combination which could happen, and the timing was actually very right. So I think this is very, very perfect for me in today's time and right now in my present, and I really enjoy it. I do not get stressed very easily when it comes to managing my business. I am more of a person who believes in karam karo or phal ki apeksha mat rakho. However, few things happen which do make me stressed, like if I have to deliver an order on time. So I'm really stressed about keeping the cake safe before the client takes it, and I think that is the maximum level of stress which I undergo, because it's really important for me that the client gets the best out of what he's paying me and what he's paying for the services. And one thing, however, which happened very recently was that my carpenter took off midway and I had to prepare hampers. So whenever there is something which is supposed to be time bound and I have a deadline for it, so Diwali is coming and I really had to have those hampers ready. And since my carpenter took off, I had all my things prepared with no hampers to give them, and it really freaked me out. But it took me a day to realize that it might take some time and I don't have control over it. And I think when we get stressed, I take a step back, relax, and figure out other options or other ways available, and I think it clears your head a little. So business of a home bakery is quite inconsistent. However, I have my baking classes very regularly, but orders are not very consistent. Some days I have to bake 4 cakes a day, but some days I don't have any orders at all. On those days, I rather take up some time for myself and do the things I love. Or if I have to work, I take to social media, I design the creatives myself, I design posts and I schedule those posts in a way how I'm supposed to market it further. So with a small business, usually there is just one person doing the resourcing, doing the social media management, doing the content creation, doing the actual work and doing the delivery. So that person is me. So there are a lot of things that are to be done. There is resourcing which takes up a lot of time. So it's not really that I don't have work when there are no orders. There's a lot of work to be done. And yes, sometimes I do feel that we also need to take a break. But when you get out in the field, I think you have very less time to yourself, which I recommend everyone else, including myself, to spare for your own self.